Monday evening once again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Monday Night Raw Dog. I am your host, Coach, and I am pleased to be joined by my co-host and my producer for this show, Big Daddy C.
What's up, good people? We Boogie fan. What's going on, Coach?
Yeah, we apologize for those of you kind of waiting for the drop on this episode because we were waiting for the national championship game. It was getting pretty close, and then Will Howard threw a 56-yard completion to Jeremiah Smith, and done. GG Notre Dame. GG.
Yeah, I'm a Michigan fan, so we got our championship last year. Uh, we beat Ohio State this season 4 straight years. But I thought that would have been the beginning of the end for the team, but apparently not, as they're about to win a national championship. It's probably the first time that both teams have won a championship, and like both of them have won like the year after each other. Like this is the first time I've ever seen that happen. So, congrats to the rivals. Y'all still ain't shit. Go blue. But let's get this show on the road. Let's talk some wrestling.
Yeah, not everybody can beat Ohio State like Michigan and Missouri can. I mean,
Yep.
it's tough business. What can we say? All right, so we kick things off tonight with a pretty stacked show. It starts out with Jey Uso kicking things off and coming in through the crowd with his normal entrance, getting the audience hyped up. No Pat McAfee on the show tonight because he's at the national championship game, so Wade Barrett filling in, and he refused to yeet with Michael Cole and said Cole looked like an idiot, which, to be fair, Cole did kind of go a little overboard. I think he was trying to create more energy since Pat wasn't there.
Right.
Anyways, Uso talks about his title opportunity coming up on Saturday night's main event. And shocking to absolutely no one, Gunther interrupts, comes out. They trade jabs verbally back and forth until finally there was a little bit of physicality between the two, and actually enough to where Jey Uso's lip was actually bleeding. So a nice little touch there. But it ends with Uso on top, and I think we all know how that goes. He's probably not winning Saturday night, unfortunately. And that was pretty much it for that segment. It was simple but effective and set the stage for Saturday night's main event with the World Heavyweight Championship match between Jey Uso and the Ring General. See your thoughts on that opening segment.
Oh, I mean, regardless of Jay or Gunther, like had the momentum after tonight. It didn't matter. Jay was not winning. So, but it was good. It was a good way to start off the show. Get some good action, good promos. I think this was a nice, solid go home show for the most part. A good opener for the go home show for the Saturday night's main event. It should be a good match between the two. Be nice to see Gunther have another match against a credible opponent. I think his reign has been pretty solid so far. So adding Jay to that list of opponents would be nice. So I was cool with it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. We go to our next match our first match of the night, rather, I should say, and it is Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston with a special guest on commentary, JBL, returning to the Monday Night Raw scene and joining the commentary desk with Wade Barrett and Michael Cole. And I'm going to be honest, it felt like old times listening during that match. It felt right. It felt really right listening to JBL and Cole talking to each other. And then Wade Barrett added a nice little wrinkle into it as well. But before the match can get started, the New Day comes out to their normal entrance, only for Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods to say to cut that crap off. This is not our entrance anymore. Y'all don't deserve our entrance. And Kingston said, quote, to be honest, y'all are starting to piss me off right now. So Kingston is really going all in with his heel, and I love it. And this is, and see, correct me if I'm wrong here, this is like the first time we've truly seen Kofi as a heel. Like, besides, the New Day was they were the fun heels, but he's trying to be a serious heel. And
Yeah,
it's kind of working right now.
yeah, I do agree. This was like the first time that they've like he's really had like a true heel run. Everything else was all comedy with them and Big E. And so we didn't really take them serious as true heels. We still found it comical at the end of the day. They were still selling merch like it was nothing. So but now them kicking Big E out, like, that kind of really changed the whole game for them. And so it was nice to see Kofi. I thought it was a great match, honestly. One of the best matches of the night, him and Ray. And so knowing, and I think this is the first time they went at it in 15 years, I believe.
16.
And so 16 years. Yeah. So but it's almost like they never really lost a step in terms of the chemistry in the ring. So they're 2 seasoned veterans, been in the game for a long time, and so it was nice seeing them go at it again.
Yeah, there was one spot that was a botch, but you could almost play it off. They played it off really well, as if it was planned. I think Kingston
Power
was
bomb,
looking
I
to.
think.
What's that?
Was it the attempted power bomb outside the ring?
That
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, they sold that pretty good because, I mean, Ray definitely over rotated, but it still made it look good of like, oh, yeah, Kofi's just flipping him down and wasn't going to do anything else with it, even though all of us knew he was trying for a power bomb. But either way, Mysterio ends up with a roll-up victory. Woods and Kingston then both attack Mysterio, only for Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro of the LWO to come out and save Mysterio. But then as Kingston and Woods walk away, they take a detour and come right back into the ring and take out Del Toro and then run away. And that was the end of that segment. And see any more thoughts on what you thought of that match?
Of the Kingston Mysterio match?
Mysterio, yeah.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So then we get our first backstage segment, which is with Chad Gable and American Made. And Gable pretty much talks about how, yes, he is tired of losing to luchadors and has said that he is got a contact with Dominic Mysterio to help him with his luchador problem. And each one of American Made, they went on to talk about their ambitions for championship, and they kind of left it at that. But we'll get more into that segment later on as we go to our next one, which is a Sami Zayn promo as he comes out, declares himself for the Royal Rumble, to no surprise, and is taking Seth Rollins' advice from last week about how he needs to start fighting for himself. And that was kind of Sammy's promo was, I'm going to do this. I am going to win the title. And lo and behold, Kevin Owens comes out with his Winged Eagle Championship, and the tension is high. Everyone's anticipating him to just destroy Sammy on the mic and then beat him down, but he doesn't. Because, as KO said, he understood why Sammy teamed up with Roman because of their history. He said, this is not like when Cody teamed up with Roman. And it just was you could just sense that tension. And Kevin Owens said, "You forgave me for all the stuff that I did to you, and that just shows what a great person you are. So I'm not upset at you. And I hope that you win the Royal Rumble. And just know that together we are going to main event WrestleMania for this WWE Championship. As long as he walks out, Kevin Owens walks out and kind of hints at Sami Zayn to help him during the ladder match, which I find very, very interesting. And that's how the segment ends. So, see, what did you think of this one? Uh-oh. We're having some technical difficulties with Big Daddy C right now.
Connection issues on my end. But yeah. For the was it? Oh, like I am literally in front of the router. Like, my laptop is literally in front of the router. How? How is there connection issues? Like, come on. But no, what match? What match was this?
The Sami Zayn's promo.
Oh yeah, the promo. Yeah, yeah, I loved it, man. Like anytime these two, we know the history with these guys, best friends, like since they're teenagers. Basically came up in the business together. ROH, you know, now WWE, NXT, now main roster. They've been all over the road with each other, so we know, you know, whether together or apart, like they have so much chemistry in the ring, promo wise, wrestling wise, it doesn't matter. Thought we were on a course to get another match between these two. Man, I was like, it's been a while. It's been a while. And so there might be a chance for her, who knows. But I think it's one of those situations where with KO saying he understood, I kind of understood it too, because with Sami, it was more of like all right, he was actually in the group. So like there's a lot more history where like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's tough to like really say no, and then it's like family in a way. You know, he's family with KO, but he's also family, you know, with the bloodline. And so, but with Cody, that wasn't the case. It was like Cody was fighting the good fight against the bloodline for 2 years, and KO and Sami eventually helped him do that. And so for him to just turn around and then elect to team with Roman, like it pretty much was like a slap in the face, you know, to KO, like, hey, like, what the hell? You know, dude, we fought by your side, and only for you to turn around and like join this dude years late, like a year later or months later. And so I get it, you know. So, and then with him having that close bond with Sami, he doesn't really feel the need to like attack him. At least for right now, it doesn't seem that way. But you never know with Kevin Owens; he can crash out on anybody. So, but yeah, I enjoyed the segment. We'll see what happens in the Rumble, because KO might, well, if he loses the championship match, which I think he might end up doing, then he might still be in a Rumble match. And, you know, who knows what happens. But yeah, I thought it was a good segment.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Going on to our next match, which is Bayley versus Nia Jax. And two things happened before the show started tonight that we were told about before this match. One, Bayley has officially joined the Raw roster because of the transfer portal. And also, Nia Jax attacked Rhea Ripley before the show was on air in the parking lot. So that's what we were told. And also noted at ringside was Roxanne Perez, who was going after Bayley. And eventually, Roxanne Perez was actually, quote unquote, ejected from ringside by security for interfering in the match by hitting Bayley. And they had a security guard take her away, and actually Roxanne accidentally kicked a fan, super kicked. I shouldn't say super kicked, but while she was acting and was like flailing her feet, her left foot kind of got a little wild and clocked a guy in the head. So I hope that guy's okay. But I mean, this match was pretty straightforward. It was another one of those Bayley matches of, oh, she's going up against the odds, but eventually Nia Jax got the victory. And after the match, Rhea Ripley hit the ring, and her and Jax started going at it. Finally, after they were separated, Rhea Ripley grabbed a mic and said, "You, me, Saturday night main event for this championship to Nia Jax," and that became official. So that is our women's World Heavyweight Championship match on Saturday night's main event now.
Wait, did they say it? Did they confirm if it was for the title or not?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they did confirm because I know she
They did.
challenged. I just didn't know if it because she didn't say for the championship, so I wasn't sure if that was an official match. Okay.
Yeah, they did confirm that later in the show that it is the championship match on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, this transfer portal, man, is making things a lot more interesting now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody showing up on each other's shows, and
So, any additional thoughts on that match?
No. I think at this point, with the way they're booking Nia, I think they're like trying to keep the momentum going for her. I don't foresee them having anything set for Bayley long term in terms of WrestleMania plans. And so I think, I think with Nia, want to keep her strong going into the Rumble. But also with the whole thing with Bayley and Roxy, I think they're prepping Roxy. They're prepping Roxy to get called up. I think that's where we're heading. She lost her NXT championship, and so I believe she's about to get her big break on the main roster against Bayley. I think that's where we're heading, and I'm pretty sure they'll probably make that a match at Saturday night's main event. If not that, probably on Raw next week. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I had no issues with the match and everything else that took place outside of that.
Okay, so you just got those messages.
Yeah. So everyone, Frito set up our little group chat that we have. He's not safe to say he's not in a good mood right now. Yeah, he's had a very bad year in terms of sports, I guess. Cardinals, Packers, and now the Notre Dame Irish. Prayers up for Fritos, man. He's struggling right now.
He is going to get really drunk tonight.
Yeah. That's why he's not on the pod right now.
That's why he's not here tonight.
Yeah, it's rough right now. It's rough.
All right, moving on.
Back to it.
Oh, go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
No, I was just telling you. Back to it.
All right, so now we get to our next match, which is a really good match between Penta and Pete Dunne, and this would be my match of the night because it showcased both guys and their special skills and their different styles that they had. And like Pete Dunne, he's more of that manipulative kind of heel in the ring, and whereas Penta, the high-flying luchador, it was great, but eventually Penta hit the sacrifice arm breaker and followed it with a Penta driver for the pinfall victory, and he is officially 2-0 in WWE. And I could not get over Penta's entrance because they added to it from last week. They have spinning fireworks for him. Like, that was freaking sweet. And yeah, I just thought that was really good. presentation again, but just great match overall. Match of the night for me. See, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I do think it was that was one of the two best matches of the night. I think possibly the best match. Honestly, I do agree with you in terms of them showcasing both of their abilities. I like how they're like Penta's first two opponents. Were great quality wrestlers. Like you had Chad Gable starting out, and now you got Pete Dunne. So I honestly think pairing him against great other talent is a good way to start off, especially he's a seasoned veteran himself. So you don't want to just throw any jobbers against him, So I did enjoy that. With Pete Dunne being the bruiserweight that he is, doing the whole little finger breaking and all the other crap that he does. It's good to see. I'm glad they're done with the whole R-Truth thing, I guess.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see what's next for Penta. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in a Rumble as well. Yeah, it was good. It was a great match. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
All right, then we get our next segment, which is a promo from CM Punk that he did in the crowd. And, it was a typical CM Punk promo that almost felt like it was a pipe bomb in some ways. He basically vowed that he was gonna win the Rumble, and kind of gave a quick shout out to the fans for it. And then he went through one by one of every person that he was going to throw over the top rope. He was going to say, I'll do Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, John Cena. I love you, but you're not, your time's done. It's my time now. Roman Reigns. And then he even says, and even if Hulk Hogan is in it, I'll throw his dusty ass over the top rope, which got a huge pop from the crowd. And on top of that, actually, see, Hulk Hogan is advertised for Saturday night's main event. So I would not be surprised if CM Punk jumps in there for some segment with him. It might be interesting. That's all I'm saying.
If it results in him giving Hogan the GTS, I will be a happy black man. Like I will love it. I will love it. Like I'm all for put Hogan to sleep, please.
And then finally, Punk ended his promo with, and you know what else I might do on February 1? And then he called out Roman Reigns and said, hey, Roman, I might be cashing in that favor I'm owed. And then the promo ended from there. So it felt more like an original CM Punk promo where he just kind of went off the cuff, and I really liked it. See your thoughts on it?
Man, yeah, I thought it was epic, man. It felt like one of those old school pipe bomb promos from CM Punk. I enjoyed it. I'm curious to see what this favor is, man. Like, I cannot wait to see what happens with this because it has to be championship related. That is my only guess.
Yes.
And so I know we got to wait a little bit longer for that to happen. We'll see in the months to come. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Punk still one of the best on the mic, man. So he's ready for the Rumble. He's one of my favorites to win it, honestly. So we'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. Well, about 3 weeks, I guess. Yeah, 3 weeks.
Yep. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Yep.
All right, then we go to our next match, which is Damage Control versus Pure Fusion Collective. And all I can say is that this match happened. I will say the crowd was hot for Io Sky. They were chanting her name for pretty much most of the match, and Dakota Kai took the brunt of everything from Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. But then finally, Kai got Io the hot tag, and Io went off. And like I said, crowd was hot for her, and Io got the over the moonsault for the victory. And again, I can't get over the crowd, how they reacted to Io Sky. Like with Dakota, they were kind of like, I mean, they knew she was a baby face, and they're like, yeah, like go for it. But they were kind of getting bored of the match, and they were chanting for Io to get out there. And then once she did, that's when everything was kind of took off in that match. And then oddly enough, Io got the win, and it's I think the crowd's wanting Io to win the Royal Rumble now to possibly go for a championship, but we'll see if WWE pulls the trigger on that. I think we were in agreement last night on our Sunday podcast. It's probably going to be Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, I think we're good on the. I think we've maxed out the EO Sky Championship window. So I think. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like she's hot. I'd be hot for it too if I was in the crowd. But yeah, I think for the most part, I think it'd be best to keep her at mid card. I mean, in terms of challengers, like I think you can keep her as a good challenger for a championship, but like a contender. But like I think in terms of like, I want to see her have some good feuds with Lyra. Some of the other, maybe Roxy. Some of those coming up. Yeah, I think her being in her having another title reign, probably not for the best. So in terms of the match itself, Pittsburgh. That was a match. I was playing NCAA. I was playing NCAA the whole time that match was going on. So yeah.
All right, then we get to our main event. It's a WrestleMania 40 rematch between Seth freaking Rollins and Drew McIntyre. And one thing that was noticeable in this match was that Seth Rollins has two good knees for this one. And he pointed that out to Drew McIntyre and says, "What are you going to do now? I have two good knees. You can only beat me with one knee." And that just kind of set Drew off, and then the action picked up. A lot of back and forth, a lot of good spots. Eventually, though, it looked like McIntyre was about to get the win, and then he was arrogant again, saying, "You wanted to fight me, what'd you expect would happen?" Only for Rollins to do a roll-up jackknife cover and gets the pinfall, which surprised me that they ended on that one. That kind of shocked me that was how it ended. McIntyre obviously was in shock and frustrated, starts attacking Seth Rollins. Then Sami Zayn comes on out, makes the save for a little bit, only for McIntyre to knock him out. Him and Seth Rollins go back at it, and McIntyre, you could hear him saying something to Rollins, but you couldn't really hear what he was saying too much. I think they purposely did that, only for Sami Zayn to come out of nowhere to hit a hula kick on McIntyre, but McIntyre moved out of the way and he hit Seth Rollins. And McIntyre laughed his way backstage, knowing that Zayn just messed up. Rollins visibly upset, and Sami trying to apologize, but that's how Raw was ended, on with a kind of a cliffhanger on what's going to happen going forward with these two. See your thoughts on our main event.
I thought it was a great match. With these two, considering the main event that they had. Well, not the main event, but like the match that they had last year at WrestleMania 40. We knew like it was going to be some drama between these two in this match. It was going to be high intensity between these two. And then I didn't expect Seth to win the way that he did. I thought it was either going to be like maybe no contest, DQ, somebody like interfered, I guess. But that was my thoughts on how the match is going to end. But seeing Seth win the way that he did, I was like, oh, okay, this kind of adds a little more, adds a wrinkle in this whole little rivalry that he has with Drew. And then Drew crashing out, of course, after the match. and Sammy comes on to help because it looks like Drew was trying to hit the Claymore on Seth like at the
At the
turnbuckle,
ring post, yeah.
the ring post, and so that was probably gonna put him out for a hot minute. So obviously, with Sammy saving the day, that didn't happen. But I did think having that drama, having Sammy hit the hell of a kick on Seth, pretty much reopens up that whole drama or I can't trust you type of thing. And so it just makes things a lot more interesting going into not only Saturday night's main event, but also the Royal Rumble. It's just so many layers, so many rivalries that's going to be intertwined within this match. And the fact that it's 40 men just makes it even that greater. Who knows what kind of surprises we're going to have. So yeah, I thought it was a good way to end the show. Nothing too crazy. I think at this point, just seeing that. I know they said they were trying to do the 3 hours again, but there's no set time limit. So there's gonna be some nights where we go to 9 or 9:30, and it look like we might go to 10 or 10:30. But I think for right now, it looks like they're sticking at probably that 9 to 9:30 mark as the ending. In terms of average, looks like that's what we're going to pretty much be seeing, unless they got a lot more planned for bigger shows, I guess. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the main event.
So yeah, I mean, this Raw, it was a really good Raw. Not as good as last week's. I thought last week's was really, really strong, but storyline developments coming in. Go home show for Saturday night's main event. I anticipate next Monday night's Raw to be really good as the go home show before the Royal Rumble. And overall, I thought it was a really good show. I definitely something to keep building off of for the Netflix era on Monday Night Raw. See, any final thoughts?
No. I give the show a solid B plus.
Yep, I'm right there with you. I agree 100%. So that's going to be it for us tonight here on Monday Night Raw, Dog. For those of you that are new to this channel, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And we are on all social media platforms. We're on X, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. You can catch our podcast on Spotify. And this is just one of the many shows that we have here on the We Book It podcast. We have our Monday Night Raw, Dog. We have Big Daddy C covering AEW on Wednesday nights after Dynamite. We got Fritos whenever he gets sober again for the SmackDown Lowdown on Friday nights. And then, of course, our Sunday variety show with all four of us from the We Book It podcast: Virgil, Fritos, Big Daddy C, and me, Coach. So we hope you enjoyed this. Remember to comment if you'd like to see something out of us for for Monday Night Raw, Dog. But until next time, for Big Daddy C, I'm Coach. We'll see you next week.
Peace, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Catch y'all on Wednesday.
Pray for Fritos.
Yeah, pray for Fritos. Screw Ohio State. Always.